Wildcats, let's jump right in and let me walk through how you will do a day in quarantine in ELA. You go to Schoology, you log in, you find your class. Today I'm going to pretend to be a 7th grader, although this information is still applicable to both 6th and 7th graders. I'm going to view the course. I'm going to be Mr. Arocha today. Alright, so now I see what Mr. Arocha sees. And first thing you always do is you're going to go to the website. And you're going to take a look at what's on the agenda for today. Now I'm recording this today, but tomorrow when you do school, you'll find the date and your class. Now Mr. Rocha is one of my 7th graders, so he would click here. And today he will take the literature and take the risk and exploration analyzing literature test. Here's the pathway on how you get there. It says go to resources and assignments, then collections 4, then assessment and test, then read the directions, and then this, then this, then this. So I would follow that pathway. I would go to, of course, the Schoology, resources and assignments, risk and exploration, and then it told me it was in the assessment and tests folder. Oh, there's a couple of things. What did it say? It said it wanted me under the exploration literature folder, but I'm supposed to read the directions first. So here we go. It's an open book, an open composition notebook test, but not an open internet test. There's no way I can know whether you follow that or not. But if you do cheat, you open Google it, then you're willingly choosing to be a thief and a liar because you're stealing information that's not your own and lying to me about it saying it is your own. So ask yourself if you want to live in a world where people lie to you and steal from you, and if the answer is no, then don't bring that into the world. Don't be one. Alright, but here's a test-taking tip. You can use the pages in the lesson notes in your composition notebook. So, for example, I'm a 7th grader. I'm Mr. Rocha right now. Going to the website. It looks a little different. I cleaned it up and arranged it for this quarantine. It's easier. This chunk is now just for the collection that we're in, collection by collection. So after the metacognition page, this is where we have the lesson notes. This is where we take our concepts on. This is what you'll be tested on because it is how we reach our learning objective. And the test is on, are you able to do this, each learning objective. So that's your test-taking tip. Alright, so I read the directions, ready to go in here. Print this and open this. First questions all come from this reading. So ladies and gentlemen, if you just dive into the quiz, it's going to be asking you questions, and you don't have any context because you haven't read this in order to answer the information. So you need to click on this. I recommend printing it and having it in front of you, and so you can physically see it. I think it's easier to physically see it and then do the quiz on the screen. But if you're not able to print, then just split your screen in half, put the reading on one side and the quiz on the other. Now, Mr. Rocha is not able to open this yet because it hasn't opened yet. There is an open time and a closing time, and that will open tomorrow. Now, for some reason, if I made a mistake and it's not letting you in tomorrow, then it's okay. I will be available on the computer. I'm sent a link to Google Meet right here. I'll be on Google Meet to answer questions. So if something's not working, don't panic. We will figure it out. Google Meet, email, it's okay. Alright, so then Mr. Rocha, let's see, he did his classwork. He's going to go back to today and make sure that he did everything. Homework, the applicable slides on the quarantine photo for Google Slides, pathway to find it. That is turn in quarantine photo speech. Now we're doing this in lieu of the podcast. We just can't make it happen. So this is how we're going to cover the speaking and listening standards. We're going to do a quarantine photo speech. The directions are here. For more details, let me just walk you through them right now. Make a copy. Please cooperate, Google. Google's not been cooperating. I will write myself a note, send that in your Gmail, and I'll republish this link. All right, let me show you because I want you to see what it is. Excuse me. So we go to quarantine photos page. Fill in your information here. You're going to, each day of the quarantine, dates are written here, you're going to have 2 photos. One, a personal photo, you doing something you enjoy, how you're spending your time, you're having some fun while we're on quarantine, and 1 photo where you're helping others. This is a stressful time. Your parents are probably stressed. It's all of you at home, you're full-time families right now, and it's stressful. So let's help each other out. And I want you to do 1 chore to help each other out during the week. Please include yourself in the photo. If you need to take a selfie, that's okay. If you can get a sibling or somebody else to take a picture of you doing the act, fantastic. So, like, maybe you enjoy playing, I don't know, guitar, and 1 photo of you helping somebody else. All right. So that's the photo speech. And to turn it in, at the end of quarantine, you turn it in here. You've seen the video. If you need to watch the video again on how to submit things to Schoology, then you go back to the turn it in and click on the how to turn in Google Docs on Schoology, or Google anything. Okay, so that was number 2. So Mr. Orocha would have done his homework. Oh, any missing assignments? Check grade speed. If you've got a missing, then you need to contact me. Hopefully we can do that in Google Meets. You can also send me an email. Please refer to the email Grades and Courtesy for the format, because I need that information in order to change it in the gradebook. You have until April 2nd. And then the gradebook closes. I can't give missing work after that, because that's my deadline. All right. Reading counts points. Reading counts points are excused. You can't take reading counts quizzes at home, so I feel it's unfair. So we're going to do something different for reading counts this quarter. But if you've already turned in your reading counts points, you're done for next quarter. You're done. You don't have to do them next quarter. This quarter, if you didn't do them, just lucky, and you're excused. So we'll have a total of 50 reading counts points at the end of the year. Okay, now, so that's how you would do your homework during the quarantine, and each day's work, you can see it'll have a different assignment. The next day is informational texts. The next day is something vocabulary related for both 6th and 7th, and the next day is conventions. You follow the same pathway, etc., etc., etc. Now, you do have some homework during the spring break. You could theoretically get it done during the quarantine time, and I'm sure you have time to do it if you wanted to. All right, so this is your Audible book report. That is also found in Schoology. Let's see. In the turn-in. Spring break Audible book report. Okay, so Audible is a really great Audible or audiobook program, and they have made all of their young adult novels and children's books free during this quarantine time. You don't have to log in or anything. You just go there and click on it. Now, you may not do a book report on Little Listeners. You may not do an elementary school book. You're not a little listener. You're not an elementary school student. But if you wanted to do a tween, if you wanted to do a teen, if you want to do any of the literary classics, folk tales, they even have some Spanish in there. I don't mind if you listen to a Spanish book, if you speak Spanish, as long as your report on it is in English. Same for Dutch or French or any other language here. They even have Japanese. All of these are free. Let's say that I wanted to listen to, Anne of Green Gables, such a classic. I click on it and I start listening. You can't hear it because this program, the free version, doesn't allow you to record audio off of the computer, only into the computer. But it'll work. It's beautiful. It's great. I personally, Anyways, so you pick a book. So this one was a narrative. So I would choose the narrative audiobook book report to do. make a copy, and I would fill out the information here and write a summary. Now, let's imagine I didn't want a narrative. Let's imagine I did an informational text, like, let's say I wanted to do an introduction to Indian philosophy, which is very interesting, by the way. Then this would be an informational text. So I wouldn't choose this one of the Audible book report. I would choose the informational text Audible book report. All right, let's make a copy. You only have to do one, and your choice. So you're listening to one book. If you didn't want work on spring break, you could do this during the quarantine too and be done with it. Okay, so that's everything in a nutshell. You go to here, you find your work, you go to Schoology to get your work. We'll meet on Google Meets if you have questions, and we'll get those grades in, missings, and hopefully we can start school regularly again after spring break. And I look forward to seeing how you guys pass the time. I'll also be doing the photo story and sharing that as well. And I already did my audiobook report. I finished listening to Culture Hacks. That was really interesting. Okay, so this, you guys, keep on keeping on, keep those immune systems and spirits up. Be patient, be kind. If something doesn't work, be patient, be kind. Get in contact with me. We'll figure it out. Your teachers are gonna understand that there's, sometimes internet doesn't work, computers don't work, links don't work, and we will figure it out, okay? So be kind and patient with yourselves, be kind and patient with your families, and be kind and patient with your teachers. And have a healthy quarantine. How do I